Yeah, welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies. And as per the norm, you're going to hear some Tank Baby in the background, along with her favorite accompaniment, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. But now, you're seeing me in my favorite environment, that is 6.7 Germany, and no, it's not for the ground vehicles, although RU-251 is a fantastic way to get into the real meat of 6.7 Germany, and that is the ME262A1U4 Narwhal. I would pay out the booty, Gaijin, just so you know, for a premium version of the Narwhal. Not for any reason other than I just really love the Narwhal and I want it to have a gold name tag, and I will pay an incredibly stupid amount of money to see that happen. Anyway, here we are, RU-251ing, and I would prefer that this was a regular match with 3 capture points, because I definitely am interested in capturing zones for the event. But I'll take a battle. You know, I thought, honestly, I was a little bit disappointed that this was a battle game mode. But you know what? I figured we still have decent chances of eventually getting into the air, and that's really what I'm looking forward to, since I'm grinding the air event right now in Tank RB, which should not be news to anyone. Getting some scouts, which gives us points, and also really helps our allies. And that Vickers MBT is not in the strongest position. He's already taken a hit, he's been scouted, he wisely pops smoke and retreats behind those rocks. I'm hoping that he is damaged enough that he won't outlast his smoke on the repair, but that is probably something of a pipe dream. Hope you guys enjoy the custom camouflage I've selected for the RU-251 today. A Sonic 3 Sanic themed gotta go fast skin, which I feel is definitely long overdue for the RU-251. A very talented custom camo designer named Toshio1987 made this one. You can find him on live.wrthunder. Yes, it's me. Where are you going, Guppy? Yeah, you are very naked today. Tank Baby decided that Schürzen is for the weak, and she has removed her onesie and is bopping around the house in her diaper, which I'm just happy she's keeping the diaper on. So, she wants to be free. She wants to break free. So, this RU-251 gameplay is not all that riveting, but again, it is essential, and there we go, we see muzzle smoke, and I don't even... What? Is it a bush tank? We get a lucky shot into what looks to be a Japanese M41 Walker Bull Doge, so that was good on us. Another enemy tank, scout, and pop out. Let's see if we can... I guess we didn't have the scout ready. Let's just kill him, how about we? Yep, there we go. As trolly as the mantlet can be on the Vickers MBT, the side of the turret is really easy to punch through, especially with the fantastic heat round that the RU-251 has access to. Now, if you've played RU-251 in the past, but not recently, along with other heat rounds, the Heat FS that the RU-251 has access to has been significantly improved in its post-penetration effect when compared with where it was sitting a few months ago. Yeah, you want a cracker? Here you go. Hey, you asked for something. Take it. Good job. Okay, and we're popping out now. It could be time for us to... as we take a hard hit into the turret. I was gonna say it's about time to play aggressively, but well, that's what happens when you do. We're lucky to be alive. Thankfully, the commander on the RU-251's turret, or is it the loader? He's rather difficult to kill along with the other turret crew, and that's the only reason we were still alive. Checking the score, I realized that we can get into an aircraft, and since that is what I'm interested in, yeah, there you go. We go ahead and decide to jump out of the vehicle, abandoning it to the winds of fate in order to spawn in the ME-262. Now this aircraft is my darling, a fact that should not be news to any of you on the channel, and I'll go ahead and let you know ahead of time. The reason I'm showing you this entire battle is, one, I was interested in excuse me, showing off how I specifically like to grind the air event, and I've definitely covered the basics, but it can be useful to show you an entire battle. As we spot an enemy aircraft, we're keeping our eye on him, and we're thinking about going into pursuit. Now he's given us an opportunity. Not the best attack vector, so we pull away, which is just as well because he gets shredded by the Coelian, or the Flak Panzer 341. As it currently calls itself today, but I knew Coelian before the change, and just calling him by something else is just a bit awkward. Now, enemies on the B point. One of the advantages of the battle scenario is that enemies tend to cluster around your capture point as soon as they gain ground dominance, and in an aircraft with very strong ground strike potential like the Narwhal, you can definitely take advantage of that. One of the things I really enjoy about Narwhal that makes it stand out from bomb casts or rocket casts is its ability to maintain its presence on the battlefield. You don't make a single pass or two or three, you can make a dozen passes if your ammunition holds out, and the reason that target was so hard to hit is because he really was a teeny boy as we take down the engine and track on a Locust. There you go. Yeah, I love you too, Guppy. She loves her some chips. So, don't tell Tank Bomb. Another spot where enemies tend to cluster on this map is that hill. You'll see them peek over to take advantage of that hold down position. And you see there's quite a bit of dispersion on the gun for the Narwhal, and that is one of those balancing factors that's been introduced. I used to be able to snipe heavy tanks from 2K up, and the rounds would go exactly where I was aiming, as an enemy fighter goes for the stall climb to try and chase us down. I think that is actually the Kai 100. We're going to see some more of him later, and it's going to be a lot of fun when that happens. Did I mention that we get an ace in the Narwhal? And that is going to be against ground targets. Enemy fighter is running away. I'm just fine with that. Gives me plenty of room to flex as the Narwhal. So here we are, making another pass on ground targets, and we get a nice shot into the ammo rack after getting a few into the engine and crew compartment, which finishes off the vehicle. One of the things that helps balance out the Narwhal is first and foremost the dispersion of its gun. It is difficult to get hits, well, it's impossible to get them consistently on target. So you have to fire multiple rounds, and it's also difficult to one-shot enemy vehicles and difficult to take them down in a single pass, even with multiple penetrations of the hull of an enemy tank. You'll get a lot of rounds that either pass completely through the vehicle without detonating the fuse, which does happen, especially on thinner or thinly skinned enemy vehicles. And the only really reliable way to take down an enemy vehicle with one shot is to hit them in the ammo rack. However, I tend to favor going for the engine deck and then the crew compartment, just because, again, those are much larger targets and the dispersion on your cannon is significant. Still not bad. You are able to get hits on target, but it's not as good as it could be, and it's definitely not a sniper rifle. So we've made our first pass, picked up a little bit of progress, and now we're on our way back to land. I'll go ahead and skip through that and bring you into us coming back into the combat area. So here we are, back in the area. We put ourselves in a bit of a climb to observe the combat zone, and here we see a head-on of an enemy tank moving very quickly. That is an M36 Slugger with the 90mm cannon on the M10 chassis. So we'll go ahead and do a nice big vertical loop, and it looks like 4 or so enemy tanks converging on the B point. They've got it almost halfway captured, so now would be a great time for us to open up and make them pay for their boldness as we get a few. And you can see the dispersion on that first volley, and then we switch targets quickly to the second and take him down with some nicely placed shots. That would be the Japanese M41, no longer bulldozing in our area. And it looks like a 40mm is trying to take us down from range, that being a ground-based anti-aircraft platform, probably the M18 or the one that's based on the M41 chassis. Not quite sure what the name of that one is. We get a few good hits into the engine deck of another tank and switch targets again. And the reason we switch targets is if we can immobilize an enemy, we might as well try and hit that second person to either immobilize him or take him down, and we do get lucky on the T-92, taking him down in a couple of shots. We pick up the kill assist on the guy that we immobilized. We are getting some incredible results out of this game. A good score and also good progress toward our air event. The only thing we need at this point is kills, because 1 or 2 battles ago we picked up 4 ground kills in the Narwhal, and so that gave us 1 of our goals for... Oh, I see a contrail. That is not my own. Enemy fighter at high altitude. He's diving on me. Evasive action. We're at low energy here. Pulling a little bit of negative elevator. Turning. And now we've got him behind us. And he overspeeds and rips. Goodbye, Kai 43. You did your best. He must have climbed for a significant amount of time to have that level of energy at around 2 kilometers altitude. Looked like he was at about 3K, so that would be around 2K of climbing. So he was probably climbing for 3 or 4 minutes before he engaged. The poor fella. He really wanted to take me down. He might have been that Walker Bulldog that I killed earlier. That'd be about the right time frame, but I can't be sure. And unfortunately, he just wanted us a little bit more than was healthy for any man to want the Toshio. And thus nature took its toll on him, and he was taken down. Trying to spot some targets on the sniping hill, no one there. No of our enemies in the B point, so that's awesome. I really feel like we were essential in holding down that zone. And while things are not going to turn out well for my team in general, I've been having a great match. And one of the things that's been causing attrition for us that I haven't really touched on is the enemy's been flanking fairly well, at least a few of them. Oh, as we take down Linus in the Japanese Bulldog once more. So the Japanese allies in this game have been doing their part. They've been really trying to take down the Axis. Don't think too hard on that. And unfortunately, things just have not worked out well for them as German jet technology takes the forefront. The Walker Bulldog, being a tall tank with a rather large ammunition rack, is one of the few vehicles that is, well, pretty good food for the Narwhal. One of those few that can be taken down rather efficiently. A difficult target for the Narwhal is really anything that's very flat or has very thin armor. What are we looking at here? No, oh, there he is. Spawn camping enemy. Looks like an M26, can't really be sure, but he was marked on the map by a teammate, so I checked the map real quick. Here we are, pulling out of our loop just a bit to the side to give us some room. We have 6 rounds to make this guy pay for his belligerence. 5, 6, and the final shot goes straight into the crew compartment and takes him down, giving us the ace, and definitely a GG from the Toshiothunder channel. That was one of my best games in the Narwhal. I've picked up a Narwhal ace a few times, but not all that many. And the reasons are, of course, because the gun does not have perfect aim. You are gonna miss about half your shots from reasonable ranges, because again, if you close to where you're not going to miss, you're probably going to hit the ground if you're attacking on your optimum attack angles. I would recommend steep diving attacks, but not more than 70 degrees or so. If you're diving straight down, it's difficult to pull out in time to save yourself, and in the last battle, I actually was diving very steeply, but I used my flaps and managed to pull just in time to avoid crashing into the ground as my flaps tore off at combat speed. So there's one chance to save yourself if you attack too steeply, but more often than not, if you don't pull away from your attack vector in time, you are going to slam into the ground, and that's all part of the learning process. Thankfully, there's no permadeath in War Thunder. So we're coming in for our second landing of the match, and we see Tracer behind us. We get taken down by an F-80, and we never even saw him coming. Where was my base AA? Who's to say? Anyway, guys, that's just about it for that match. We really had a good time in the Narwhal, and I had a great time showing you one of my favorite vehicles in the entire game. Catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.